It is time to start working on the second page in our application called Activities, which is represented by the component with the name the Activities. So let's go inside of that component. Let's clear existing markup in here. What we're gonna do instead is we're gonna add div with UL element. This list will contain only one list item for now, which in turn will have two divs. And this list is going to represent our list of activities. Inside of the first div, we're gonna add button to remove activity. So let's copy markup of the button from base select component. We're gonna reuse our base button component in here. Let's paste this markup inside of this div and rename icon component. In this case, we'll need component with the name trash icon. And also we don't need to register any listeners for now. Right below this button, we will show activity name inside of the span. And inside of the other div, we're gonna add base select component, which represents our select box. So by using this select box, people will be able to choose how much time they wish to spend on a particular activity. So now let's go up and import all necessary components. We'll create script tag, copy import from another file. First import statement will import base button component, and the other one will import base select component. And just because we also use custom icon component inside of the activities component, we need to import trash icon. So let's do it right here. And because our current component, the activities, is located within pages folder, to import base components, firstly we should leave pages folder and then refer to components folder. Let's modify both of these imports. And let's see what this markup currently looks like in a browser. We got a button to delete activity, activity's name, as well as select box to select how much time we wish to spend on this activity. Let's keep going, and now we're gonna apply classes to li element. We're going to make this li element flexible container where main axis will be vertical, distance between child elements will be 2 units, and paddings will be 4 units. And this way we got a little bit more spacing between all these elements. Let's also add spacing between delete button and activity name. To do so, we're gonna assign following classes to this div. Class flex, items center, to vertically align child elements within this container, and let's increase spacing between child elements, specify 2 units. And now that we have more spacing between delete button and activity name, let's see what happens when our activity name will be too long. And in such cases, when activity name will not fit inside of the parent container, instead of showing activity name on multiple lines, we're gonna truncate the name and add ellipses at the end by using class truncate. And at the same time, we're also going to increase font size. And after this, in the browser, we can see ellipses at the end. And our activity name was truncated. So let's get back normal activity name and continue. Now we're going to specify a couple of properties for base select component. This component accepts property with the name placeholder, which is a placeholder text for the select box. And also we'll need to pass array of options for the select element, which we can do by passing another property with the name options. And in this case, our array of options will be stored within period select options constant. Before declaring this array, let's see in the browser if we can see default text for select element, which we do in here. Now let's go back to component and declare new constant period select options, which is gonna hold options array for the select element. And every object inside of this array will have 2 keys, value and label. Value key will store amount of minutes that we'd like to spend on a particular activity, and label key will store human readable value of the amount of minutes. And now to have something to test, we're gonna add a couple more objects inside of this array and modify values. Second object will store 30 minutes, and the third object will store 45 minutes. And if we'll take a look at our Vue DevTools, after selecting base select component, on the right side we can see that the props option stores that array of options with objects with key, label and value, and all these objects were rendered inside of a select element. We can see all these options right here. And now let's also use monospaced font for the select box label. We'll assign a class with the name fontMono to base select component. And now we can see that the select box label has more digital look, so to say. Alright, so now we're gonna repeat this markup of a li element several times, just to render all our activities in a list. For this, we're gonna iterate over activities array in here by using v-for directive. Then let's go back to the script tag and declare this array. Let's create new constant activities, which is going to hold the array of 3 activities: coding, reading, and training. And then we can use activity name as a unique value for key attribute. Let's also interpolate activity name inside of this span. So in the browser we will see that all our 3 activities were rendered in a list. And as a final improvement, we're also going to add a little border between list elements for better visual separation. It is pretty easy to do with Tailwind. We only need to add one class to parent container, which stores all our elements between which we'd like to add border. And since we're gonna split child elements vertically, we'll need to add class with the name divide-y. And here we go. Now we have a border between all list items. We're gonna continue working on this page in the next lesson.